How was that? Good? Set. I feel like a game show host because I have cards. Okay.
And we're back.
What is the weirdest place you've ever had sex?
Wow, that's how I love starting all my interviews. Hey everybody, we are here. We are with Rascal Flatts. Brand new album's coming out on May 19th. Back to Us. So who wants to start? I've heard this is kind of, you feel like it's almost a throwback. You've got a little nostalgia because of this album. You want to start, Jonah?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit of everything the Rascal Flatts has to offer, all in one nice package.
It's like sweet and salty,
The
all of it.
Deluxe
Yeah.
has 13
Spicy.
songs on it.
All the flavors.
Chipotle.
It's taken 17 years to make this album
Okay.
because we've been touring for 17 years. We've
Right.
made 9 albums prior to this one. We've got a lot of time under our belt now. We know what not to do. We learned a lot of lessons along the way. But I think our strengths really shine on this album. I truly
This
believe
is number 10, right?
10.
How does it feel different here?
It feels different because we didn't have any hits 9 albums ago. We were just starting off, and we were hoping that they were going to have a hit. So thank you for praying for daylight to do it. But everything
I remember
feels
that
different.
video, by the way.
You do?
Solid
yeah.
video. Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
3 different sweaters, 3 different colors. All V-necks. Oh yeah.
The Gap Boys. The Gap
For the
Boys.
Gap! Oh, bring it
Yeah.
back.
It just feels different because music has changed so much, and we've been so fortunate enough to we've evolved with every step of just the direction that music has went. So I feel really proud about being able to do that. And Yours If You Want It's the current single, and it's it's smoking. So we're blessed. We've been blessed beyond measure.
I love it. Well, and listening to that, just listening to the album as a whole, the one thing that I really picked up on, I love the way that it flows. How intentional was the song choice and the way that you laid it out for the album?
Well, it's pretty deliberate, I spent a lot of time with the mixes once we got them back and just sort of shuffled them around on my iPod to see what songs were in the same keys and how they flowed together. So
Like a set list. isn't it?
it really, I want the album to be an entire experience, not just cherry pick the singles. I'm old school. I love to listen to the whole thing down, so I tried to pick the best flow I could, and I sent it to the guys, and they gave me their thoughts. And so, I don't know, we just got our hands on the best songs we could get our hands on, and it ended up sounding very cohesive by a glorious accident. So
Maybe it was on purpose and you just
maybe-
didn't know
maybe
it.
it was,
That's
yeah.
what we're going to say. We're going to go with that for sure.
right.
So in listening to Back to Us, this song, the lyrics in this song, holy cow. Like, this is one of the deepest songs I've heard you guys do in a while. How did it feel stepping into the booth, singing those lyrics?
It was just so, it was emotional. It was just so emotional, and being married, and having kids, and a career and everything else. You can, if you don't stay locked into communication and with your wife and all of that, and really like date night and all that stuff's so important because life can just get so busy that you forget the most important thing, which is the person that you're in love with. So
Tara told me to tell you that.
Got the
so
memo.
That's
But
right.
this is the other thing. This song you couldn't have done this song years ago. This is
No.
a song that you can
Right.
only sing because you've had those experiences and you've lived,
Sure.
lived part of that life.
And it's, the big thing is waking up in a stranger's bed. Not someone else, but, you guys you've let life get in the way of,
Right.
let everything that's not important become important. And when the most important thing is laying right there beside you. So it's really just, it's an apology of, I'm sorry for doing all that. I got to get back to us.
But it's hopeful too, which
Right,
is what I love.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's that message of the hope that's still in there.
He's going to fix what he screwed up,
Basically, which is what we like.
That's right.
Jewelry always helps. So all three
That's a
of
nice
you,
way to go.
thank you. All three of you have a song on here that you co-wrote. Was that on purpose, or did that just happen?
We wrote it for Rewind, and we couldn't find anybody to do it with us, so we kind of put it on the back burner. We reached out to Taylor for the last record, and she said no. And so we
Still working on it.
still
Soft
working on
hold,
it.
soft hold.
So we kind of put it aside, and then believe it was Gary that mentioned it again for this record. And as we watched what was happening to Lauren and saw her single, Road Less Traveled, kind of shoot up the charts, we always loved her singing. And she, no one deserves the success more than she does. We reached out to her just on kind of a whim and said, would you do something with us? And she was ecstatic about it. We sent her the song, and she loved the song, thank God. And she came in, and we spent about 2 or 3 hours in the studio together, and it was just magical. I mean,
She
was just
slayed it, ladies and gentlemen.
She was a delight
Yes, she
did. She killed it.
to work
What
with.
saying?
So.
Well, and here's the thing too. All right, now is there a moment when you walk into the booth and I'm going to sing this with her? Is there that moment where you're like, what if we don't meld the way that I think we're going to?
Yeah, because you definitely. It's not like the duet we did with Natasha Bedingfield a few years ago. You kind of go in there thinking, because like Natasha had never, they cut completely different. They don't cut with live bands and all 2 microphones face to face, and you guys are just passionate, just going at it. So yeah, and you never really know how it's going to work, but. When you're talking about that caliber of a singer like Lauren Elena, it just, she just takes it and makes it her own, and she just, she killed it, ladies and gentlemen.
With the T.
The lady killed it.
With the T. Tell me about Dance.
Oh man, Dance. Yeah, I'm so proud of that song, and I wrote that with a couple of buddies here in Nashville, and Blair Daly and Troy Burgess have had a lot of success together in their own. And separately, but
does your baby love to dance?
my baby does. All my babies love to dance. Got 3 babies now.
Yes, you do.
My main baby is Tiffany, but
Tiffany
all of our
says she has
babies
4
love
babies.
to dance.
Yeah, I can see that.
She had kids before me. Obviously, she's raising me. So yeah, I'm so glad these guys dug the song. And, Gary made it his own. I mean, he has a tendency to do that, but it's a fun song. You just want to crank it up and just roll the windows down and.
The energy, that's the overall feeling in listening to this album as a whole. There's just this really fun sense of it reminds me of some of the older stuff that you guys have done, but there's also this
We are
breath.
fun.
I know you are.
I just wanted to.
Breath of fresh air that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like it's fun and revitalized. Did you feel revitalized when you were doing this album?
Well, I think so, because it's scary to be for it to be just the 3 of us. I felt a huge responsibility to these guys, because they were kind and gracious enough to sort of let me helm the project for the first time by myself, and it was the scary thing for me. So I felt like I had a lot to prove, not to the world, but to them first, because my responsibility was to make sure I was capturing their vision and our vision collectively, which can be tricky when you're in the band and a part of the band, but producing it. So you want to hear things a certain way as a band member, but you also have to take the opinions, the very valid opinions of the 2 guys that are your partners. So it was tricky, but I felt like, yes, I wanted to prove something with a vengeance, So I went in with a very distinct feeling of wanting to deliver for these guys and our fans as well. So
who's your sounding
buddy.
board?
You
You
did.
absolutely did. Who's your sounding board when you feel like you've been too close to the project? I mean, do you take it to Allison and let her hear it? Is there somebody else that
no,
you
she
trust?
doesn't know shit about music,
Okay,
so I
good.
don't take it to her.
I'm going to tell her you said that.
I'm just kidding.
So, but you know what I mean? Like, is there somebody that you trust that you're like, I've been living with this for so long, I need you to listen to that, and I need you to tell me your opinion?
I
Great
definitely
question.
have people that I trust, and my biggest confidant through the whole thing was Derek Basin, who engineered the entire thing. We would sit sometimes and scope things out, and a lot of that happens with Jodan too. Jodan and I sit and scope parts together on tracks, and he'll throw ideas at me, and he'll say, what about this, or are there too many things here, or can we do this here? And so I rely on everybody that has input onto the record to tell me what they think about it. And there are definitely some times I can dive way too deep, and what I do then is I just get away from it. I'll
Right.
get away from the music for 3 or 4 days and listen with fresh ears, and something, more than likely jumps out at me, and I'll go, oh my gosh, that's it. I've been spinning my wheels for nothing. But you can definitely dive too deep sometimes,
Absolutely. Favorite track?
My favorite track is I Know You Won't. It's one of those moments that Gary is at his finest. When you have a song that has a lyric like that, and an emotional singer that delivers a song the way that Gary does, that's why you'll only hear Jodan and I singing a few oohs on the last chorus, because we needed to just stay out of his way and let that song do what it's supposed to do. It's a gorgeous string arrangement by Chris Wilkinson, and that piano and string arrangement coupled with his vocal, it just is perfection. It's when all the stars align, and I love it. I love to sit and listen to that song with my headphones on.
It's vulnerable.
It is.
Definitely.
Which you
can
don't find
feel
Gary
that.
being very often. And so it's nice to hear him recorded that way.
Well, it's nice because then you guys bring it back around, and of course you've got some, little quip or quibble to bring it back up. I just know how that works. Overall, this project being your 10th one, was there extra pressure, or was the pressure off, knowing, you know what, we're going to go into this and just have a great time?
Both.
Yes-ish.
Yes-ish to
I would
both.
say both.
And no-ish.
It's our last record on Big Machine, so we felt a lot of pressure to make it a good one so they'd want us back for another couple of records.
Got that. Very good.
And then there was no pressure because Scott Borchetta said there are no time constraints.
Yeah.
Take your time, pick the songs you believe in, and turn it in whenever it's ready. So yes and no. It's really both.
Okay.
Yeah.
When looking at the overall writers that are on this album, you guys have got some amazing friends, a lot of people that we know from not only the writing community, but also artists that are on here. So when you were filtering through, do you like to look at who writes the songs, or you just listen to them, you don't want to know who wrote
We
them?
usually listen first,
Okay.
Yeah.
unless a plugger or somebody tells us this is a
Shay Moon
Garth,
song.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a Garth Brooks song. Then you kind of go, what?
What?
And then you know it's Chris Stapleton when you hear him sing it.
Well, yeah,
There's no
there's that.
disguising that.
Kinda gives it
And
away.
we made a deal with Dan and Shay years ago that if they were going to steal our sound, we needed first pick of the songs they were writing. So.
That's the deal.
So everything on Dan and Shay's records are actually songs that we didn't cut.
They're rejects.
So, yeah,
I love
They
that.
signed the deal. They signed Dan plus Shay.
They get
They
their
did
own-
the plus?
deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
they get their
That's
own
legit.
sloppy seconds.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. Over in a pile, that's the one they dig through, so they sound amazing.
You guys
So,
can cut this one.
on the deluxe version, you've got Hands Talk, Roller Rink, and Thieves. Now, I didn't get a chance to listen to Roller Rink, so somebody give me the lowdown on it.
Oh, roller rink's so good.
It's
We're
so
going to
fun.
roll it on back to the roller rink. It's about being a kid again and going to
Yeah.
skating parties.
It's so outside the
What are we
box.
gonna do?
Is it?
Yeah,
He's
it's
going to he's going to take her out on a date, but he's just going to do it old school. They're going to go back to the roller rink, find a disco ball, shine it down on the floor, eating hot
Get them
dogs on
butterflies flying like it's 89.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's really
It's
fun.
nostalgia for
Can
sure.
we please just all go to the roller rink and hang out? You need to do a
I
little
know.
video
We
for
have to.
this.
We have to.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have to.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's on the agenda. We probably won't be able to move the next day
No,
because,
it'll
yeah,
hurt.
as you're out there
And
doing
somebody's
it.
gonna fall, no doubt.
Kiss You While I Can. Tell me about this.
Oh, that was just, we laughed about this yesterday because I just took everything that I loved about the 80s and threw it into one song.
Yeah.
The chorus has a big mod, there's synthesizers all over it, even down to the Lynn drum machine sounds that do most of the rhythm in that track. So,
Just an 80s stew.
yeah, I mean, I
I see a theme.
All the chord changes. It's
Yeah.
you'll just.
all the synth sounds, and I mean, it's just,
You did not just do
80s are
this.
back, man. They're back.
Yeah.
Please just don't bring the hair back. As long as we keep with the current haircut, then it's
Yeah,
all going to be
right.
fine. All right, Back to Us is coming out on May 19th. Oh, summer plans. What are you guys going to be doing? Tell me about touring.
We're gonna lay out. We're gonna do some jet skiing.
SPF 30, always.
That's right, baby block. Most of the time, Tennessee sun's hot.
we're not touring as extensively as we normally do this year. We're kind of going to go to some other markets and let some people see us that haven't gotten a chance to see us before. We're going
Right.
to give the A markets a little bit of a rest. We're going to do about 30 or 40 shows this year and concentrate on promoting this album. We're so proud of it that we want to leave ourselves open to every opportunity we can to get the word out about it.
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
so
you.
good. You
Thank
guys
you.
have outdone yourselves.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Back to Us,
you.
Rascal Flatts.